Alright guys, we're back to do some more Venn diagrams following on from yesterday's class. Today is going to be a little bit different than yesterday. When you're introduced to Venn diagrams, generally you're putting individual objects into a Venn diagram. Today we're going to simplify the process and just start whacking some numbers in so we can do probability with that. In this example here, we have 25 students in a class. When you were first learning Venn diagrams, you basically would have tried to put each individual student into a spot in there. At this point, we're not going to do that. We're not going to have to like put, Sally and Bill and Bob and Greg into their own spots in the Venn diagram. We're just going to work with the numbers they've given us here. So we have to try and sort this information out. So 14 of our 25 students play a musical instrument, 18 play sport, but 10 of them do both. And the thing to remember in all of these questions is that these 10 people who do both are always going to be included in these numbers here. So even though 10 of them play a musical instrument and play a sport, the 18 that play a sport, these people are actually part of that group. Okay, so we have to draw a Venn diagram to display this information. It's very, very important you start with a rectangle. You can't just leave it open. The rectangle represents the boundaries of our universe and everything has to go inside it. We have two groups. We have musical instruments and we have sport. And we've been told that there is an overlap, so we make sure that those circles run over each other. So to complete all the sections of the Venn diagram, we're going to have to start in the middle. So in the middle, you should be putting 10, because they are the 10 people who play a musical instrument and play sport. We'll tick them off. At this point, a lot of people just automatically say, oh, look, 18 people play sport. We'll put an 18 here. But that's not how this works. It's worth remembering this entire circle is the full set of people who play sport. And there has to be 18 people in that sports circle in total. And we've already put 10 of them in the middle. So the number that we should be putting here is 18, take away the 10 already in there, which is 8, right? So you can see we now have our 18 sport players. Same thing applies to musical instruments. There are 14 of them total. We've already got 10 of them in the circle. There's the other 4. All right, so these numbers don't automatically go in. You've got to take out the overlap. What we should then check is whether we've actually got all of our students, because maybe some students don't like music, they don't like sport either. So our numbers have to add up to 25, and these numbers here add up to 22. So that leaves 3 students on the outside. Okay, so these are the kinds of Venn diagrams we're working with today. Once our Venn diagram is made, we can start to answer questions from it. Questions relating to counting and also to probability. So here are some counting questions. We're just trying to figure out how many students fit a particular kind of category. And it's really just about getting our heads around the language. So question A, how many students play a musical instrument but don't play sport? Okay, so that is referring to this section here because they're in the music circle, but they're not in the sports circle. Okay, so that is just 4. For part B, how many students play sport, but they don't play a musical instrument? That means we're looking here. They're in the sport, but not in the music. So that answer is 8. All right, we're just counting how many. And C, how many students don't play a musical instrument and don't play sport? All right, so that's the overlap there. That's where they don't do anything. All right, so we've got 3. All right, so once this is all organized, it's really, really easy to see where different students fit. So that's why Venn diagrams are so good. They're really good at just classifying and sorting things out for us. Okay, so we can finish this off with just doing a little bit of probability. We know that probability is in the form of a fraction or a decimal. We're going with fractions today. So a student is chosen at random from this group, and it's really important to keep in mind that all of these probabilities are out of 25 because there are 25 students, right? So that's our random chance. So what is the probability that they sport? That really well worded question just means we have to count how many students play sport. And we were told straight up that there's 18 of them, right? 10 here, 8 there, right? All of these guys count because they're all in the sport circle. Okay, it doesn't matter whether they play music or not. It's just a question about who plays sport out of our 25. So A, the probability of someone playing sport equals 18 out of 25. So for B, what is the probability that they play a musical instrument but they don't play sport? Okay, so the probability of music and not sport We just have to find that section. So where are the people that play music that don't play sport? They're here, right? It's just these four guys. So that means the probability of music and not sport is 4 out of 25. So the last one's a bit more challenging. It's got a bit of different language in it. It's got the word given, all right? So you have to look out for this word. It makes things a bit trickier. Given that the student chosen plays sport, what is the probability that they also play a musical instrument? So this word's really key to understanding the question, the word given. Given means that we've kind of peeked at our results and we already know something happened, so we're actually going to narrow down our possibilities. So they've said, given our student plays sport, that means we know that they came from the sports section. So that means it's not out of 25 anymore. This question is only out of the people who play sport. Okay, so we're actually just looking at this circle here. Right, the given narrowed it down to these people here. So instead of being out of 25, this question is now out of 18. Because we know that they play sport, because I guess we peaked or something like that. So given that they play sport, okay, they're in this group of 18 students, what is the probability they also play a musical instrument? So out of these 18, how many play a musical instrument? And that's these guys here, right? They're also in the music section. So that means 10 out of 18, and that can simplify down to 5 out of 9. All right, so these are going to pop up throughout the questions today. The word given, you should view given as a narrowing down of your possibilities. You should think about which area you're looking at, because it's not going to be out of everyone anymore, right? These first two questions were just out of all 25 students. Throwing that word given in there meant I had to look at a specific section and then narrow it down from there. So it ended up being 10 out of 18 instead of 10 out of 25. All right, so that should be enough to get you on your way. Good luck with getting these questions right, and we'll see you next time.